Hey guys, it's BobK10, or BobK for free if you also see this on Twitter. This video is for those who enjoy the UFC video game series, most preferably UFC Undisputed 3. Now, most people know that the online services, more specifically their online servers, has long been gone, and the only way to play the game is only the offline mode. The only way to play against another player as if they was literally right next to you in your household with a controller at hand. What if I tell you that don't have to be the case? This method that I'm about to show you has been known for some time, as well as you can easily find videos about it, but most of the videos talk about using PS Remote Play and or Xbox Cloud Gaming. But I assure you, the long run of this method is that you can use this for any console, with certain conditions. Since we'll be talking about Undisputed 3, you will need either an Xbox 360 or a PS3 with the game ready to play, 2 controllers of that console, a capture card device, a software that will capture the live footage, a super converter, a Titan 1 or 2, or Cronus Max or Zen is most preferred due to their software, Parsec, and a computer. This will be a quick explanation on how to get this set up, so most of the things that are needed will already be set up for this video. For full details, I'll need to explain this via DM or another video by demand. First things first is to plug in your console to the capture card and turn it on. While the console is turning on, place in your super converter into the console USB port. Now at this part, certain consoles have a bit of extra requirements when using the super converter. Luckily for our choice, the PS3 doesn't have this requirement, so we can move on to the next step. Next, we need to have a cord that can connect into the debug port of our super converter, a USB Type A cord. Connect it into the debug port and into the computer. After that, we must head into our computer to get into our converter's software. From there, we need to head into the plugins tab and select Plugin Manager. When we get into that menu, we must download the converter's controller mapping plugin, which for us right now is Max Aim DI. After that quickly downloads, we can go back into the plugins tab and go into Max Aim DI. Once you get into the menu, you first see an empty or simple layout. What you want to do is select the File tab and click a new empty layout, as there are times where you cannot alter existing layouts that are given to you. You will see a controller with empty boxes. At this point, you can plug in the controller of choice into the PC, as you will start to map these buttons with your controller. To do that, you will have to go to the Direct Input tab and go to DI Settings. From there, you will see a game controller dial. Go into the dial and choose the controller that you plugged into your PC. To make sure that you chose right, you can move your stick and press buttons to see if any values change from under the dial. If it did, then you have found your controller. Now press the OK button to confirm and now start setting up your inputs. Select the empty box and right-click your mouse. You should see a small menu of choices to choose from. You will need to capture your input straight from your controller. To do that, choose Direct Input Catch from the small menu and you'll be given a small box on where you're able to press the input of choice for that box. You will have to do that for all the boxes. But since I have one already set, we'll move on to the next step. If you notice while you're setting this up, your console may have started to move according to the inputs. This means that this setup is working and you yourself can use this method without plugging into the console. But of course, for Max Aim DI, this will be used for people using Parsec. Next is to get your capture software ready. You can either use your recording software, maybe OBS, SteamLab OBS, or other recording software that you can use, or you can use your capture card software. Make sure you have it full screen for the people in Parsec to see. Finally, let's talk about Parsec. I'm not going to get too much into it if you're new into Parsec, as there are videos for that. But when you do sign up and familiarize yourself with it, there are a few things you need to do before you bring the other person over. In Settings, or the cog for visual people, if you're the host, you want to go to the Host tab and familiarize yourself with the resolution, bandwidth limit, and display settings. Resolution and bandwidth limit are very important because outside of the capture card itself, a few changes can help minimize delay for the other person. I highly recommend always having a resolution at 1280 and 720 and a bandwidth limit to 10. The more people you have, the more you have to up the bandwidth limit by 5. Display settings is where you want the other person to see, and hopefully it's in the right place. If you scroll down, there's a quality setting that you can also lower latency. The lower, the better. Finally, after that, you can either dive into Arcade tab to host your game, public or private, add friends so they can request to join your computer, or send an invite to whomever to play. I have another computer that has another thing of Parsec, so I'll use that as a live example. When they join, make sure they press a button on their controller to get into the next process. Parsec uses a virtual controller, so whatever controller the client has, it goes into the virtual controller the host sets up. The default is Xbox 360. Go back into your converter software to max aim DI, and into direct input. You want to change from your controller into Parsec's virtual controller. Check to see if the controller works. When it does, connect your controller into the console and you guys are ready to go. And there you go. There's a lot more knickknacks to further discuss to get the best optimization as possible. So hopefully what I want to do for you guys is have you guys send this to any UFC content creator or anybody that's curious in this matter, and have them send me a DM so I can give them further details and links and all that stuff, so they can have time to take this information and spread this to the masses. Or if by demand, I'll make another video to explain this more in detail. Thank you guys for watching. This is Bob K, 10, or Bob K for free, signing out.